Hi, I'm Dan Elder from Kidasa Software. Welcome to this video about bringing over symbol text from Excel in Milestones Professional. There are two ways to bring over the text from Excel that I know about. The first method involves bringing over the text into a column and then applying that text to the symbol. To do this, we need to set up the toolbox before we import. So I'm going to double-click on this symbol, the start symbol right here in the second row. That's the row I'm going to use when I import. I'm going to double click on that, and then I'm going to go to the default text tab right here, and for line 1 I'm going to insert the column that I want to use. So I'm actually going to bring over a separate column for the symbol text, so I'm going to choose that symbol text column, and then I'm going to click on the insert button. And that's going to put a little shortcode. We call it a substitutable text string. It's basically going to replace this symbol text with the value of column 11. In this case, there's nothing there, so if we added a symbol right now, it would just be blank. But once we add text to that column, all of these symbols will have that text applied to them. So I'm going to press OK. And I'm going to import my information from Excel. So I'm going to open up Excel. This is a pretty basic schedule here. I've also got another video on the whole import process, just in case you miss anything here. But basically to import, I'm going to select all the information, including the column headings, press Ctrl+C. That'll copy it to my clipboard. And then in Milestones, I go to the File tab, and there's the Custom button in this Import Options section. I'm going to click Custom, and then Custom Import from Clipboard. I'm going to click on that, and I should get this pop-up with my previous settings here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Clear Settings just to get rid of those. And then I'm going to apply these columns from Excel into columns in Milestones. So Project, I'm going to put that on Task Name. Some text, that's actually going to be my symbol text. So I'm going to put that on Symbol Text, which is column 11 there on the right. Start and finish, if you've watched the Excel import, you'll know that start and finish don't go into the start and finish columns if you have them. They go into the task start date and task end dates. So I'm actually going to use the second row here. So I'm going to do task 2 start date for start and task 2 end date for finish. And to connect these, you just select what you want on the left and then click on the right. If you make a mistake, you can just double click and that'll erase the link. So connect that. And I'm also going to connect unique ID, and that's going to be all the way at the bottom. Just do that column for unique ID. And I've also got tag imported data here checked at the bottom, and that looks pretty good. So I'm going to press continue import, and it'll probably ask me to save my filter. So I'll just say yes. And then it imports into Milestones. And you can see it actually brings over this text from the column and puts it on that symbol. In this case, this symbol is kind of centering on the bar since we put it on the start symbol. So if I click on these symbols and go to the text sub-tab here in the selection tab, you can see it still says like ampersand COL 11. So it doesn't actually have the text there, it just has that little shortcode. So that means if I change any text in this column, for example, say second text example, update cell text, you can see that changes. So it's linked just to this column. So any text that updates in this column will update the text on the symbol. Okay, the second way to do it is to actually bring over the text directly from the Excel itself. And to do that, we're going to have to click on, in this case, I'm going to do the finish symbol and just bring text over to the finish symbol. And I'm going to go to the symbol links subtab. And you can see we've got, this is unique ID 1, and it's the finish column that's where it's getting the date information for that finish symbol. So if I wanted to add some symbol text, I would do comma and then whatever the column name is. So in this case, I'm going to call it other text. And you can see if I go back to that Excel file, I added a column called other text. So each symbol will have like, other text 1, 2, and 3. So once I do this, I can press apply, and that's going to apply that change. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Other text, apply, and then right here, comma, other text. And make sure you click that little apply button. If you don't do that, your changes won't save. So now that I've got those changes made, I'm going to go back to Excel and press Control-C and kind of select everything, including that new column that I just made, other text. And then I'm going to go back to the Connections tab, actually. And on the Connections tab is where you can refresh from Excel. So I'm going to click on Refresh Previously Imported Project. And I'm going to choose this option right here, Refresh from Clipboard. Since I copied that schedule to the clipboard, press Refresh from Clipboard. And refresh using, that's pretty important. We're going to refresh using unique ID. And if you watch my other Excel video, you probably learn all about that. I'm going to click Refresh using unique ID, and I'm going to uncheck Refresh % complete. Just leave that alone for now. We're not doing % complete. And then I'm going to click Refresh symbol text, and that's going to refresh any symbols that have those tags. So they have the other text tag. So I've got that checked. That looks pretty good. And it's actually going to refresh the tagged columns as well, so it'll probably change second text example back to second text. So I'm going to press OK. OK, so it says updated. Updated symbols. We've got 6 symbols with tags on them. That looks pretty good. And then you can see the changes it made. So it brought over the symbol text to that finish symbol. And if you actually click on the symbol itself, you can go back to that text sub-tab, and you can see the actual text is there. So it's not like ampersand, COL 11. It just brought over the actual text from Excel. And just one more minor thing I could change if I wanted to. If I wanted the text centered on the bar to be on the actual bar itself, that might look pretty good. I'm going to actually select the start symbol in the toolbox over here. So I'm going to double click on the start symbol and go to text/date properties. And right now my text placement is above and centered on the bar. I'm going to say middle, and then I'm also going to change the text background to transparent. So any change I make on the toolbox will apply to all these symbols on the schedule. I'll press OK, and I'll press OK again. And then you can see it centered that text on those bars. And one other note, if you are using the column method and you don't actually want to show the whole text column with the symbol text on it, you can just hide that column. So you just right click on the column heading and choose hide column. And that column's gone, but the text is still coming from that column. If you want to see that column again, you can right click on another column heading and say show hidden columns, and that'll bring it back. It actually brought an extra column, which I don't actually want, so I'm going to right click on that column heading and just say delete column, and there we go. And that's pretty much it for this video on getting simple text from Excel. If you have any questions, feel free to email support@keydawson.com, and have a nice day.